So at this point, 2 years later, I am back on oxygen 24/7. Although I'm still a lot better than I was 3 years ago before the first stem cell treatment, when I couldn't even carry on conversation, couldn't make complete sentences because I had such little wind power in my lungs. So I want to show you some of the basic routines. What you saw me doing at the beginning of this video clip, this is part of a little portable nebulizer that I put medications in. The first medication of my routine is albuterol. This is a bronchodilator. Helps open up the lung passages so that it makes it a little easier to breathe and get some of the crud out of my lungs. I do that a couple of times a day, and then I have another form of albuterol, the little puffer, kind of like Leonard on Big Bang Theory. And this arrow chamber helps, instead of just using this alone, this helps create this mist that when I inhale on this, it's just a more effective use of the medication. And this is what I do in between this one. This is like during the day. I can carry this with me when I need some help. On the regular routine that I do twice a day, first is the albuterol. Next, this is Pulmozyme, which is, I think it's called a biological medication. What this does is it actually changes the structure of the congestion in my lungs and makes it thinner, so it's easier to get the stuff out of my lungs and to cough it up and to minimize the possibilities of infection setting in. The third one in the routine, this is basically just salt water. It's a very highly concentrated salt. It's called hypertonic saline. And the purpose for this is, first of all, salt's just really good for the lungs. Second of all, it helps further thin the secretions in the lungs and moves it around so that I can cough up a lot of stuff. And I take breaks in between because what I find, if I just inhale on these straight through, I end up getting a headache, getting a little dizzy, and the meds just have some of that effect. So I have to take breaks in between and also allow for them to work so I can cough stuff up. And that's what you saw me coughing. Okay, if you don't want to see this, turn away because I'm going to show you the stuff that's really disgusting. This is the kind of crud that we cough up out of our lungs. And what you'll see here is actually not too bad in the world of CF. It's when it gets to a really dark, thick yellow, even a greenish color or greenish brown. That's when we've got to go for the big guns of intravenous antibiotic medications because it's a sign that infection is really setting in. So I'm going to show you this. Had not much in there yet because I don't want it to pour over the cup. Really sticky stuff. So ready? Turn away and don't look if you don't want to see this gross stuff. This is the stuff that, okay, you can look back now. That's the stuff that makes it so difficult for us to breathe, and over the years causes a scarring and a damage to the lung tissue that part of the progressive nature of the disease, that over years of lung becoming more and more scarred, the lungs lose elasticity, and it makes it very difficult to breathe. So at this point in my life, cumulatively, I've lost over 80% lung function. So I'm working on less than 20% lung function. And then the fourth medication, which I do 1 month on and 1 month off, this is an inhaled antibiotic called Toby. It's an inhaled version of tobramycin, very powerful medication. And so this is the fourth in routine that I'm doing for the current month. The inhalers, all of this, with the breaks in between and the coughing up and everything, usually takes me between an hour and a half, sometimes as much as 2 hours. And I need to do that twice a day. So you can see how this really encroaches on time, especially considering that I'm only awake 8 to 10 hours a day. So this has already taken up 2, 3, as much as 4 hours of my day. That's half of my day just doing inhalers. Then I've got pill forms of a lot of things. Lots of things. Okay, here it is. I'll go through these one at a time and show you what some of this stuff is. With every meal I take, because one of the problems with many of the CF patients is an inability to efficiently digest foods, in particular proteins and fats, we take enzymes. So this is an enzyme I take, typically 7 or 8 capsules with each meal, 3 or 4 with a snack. And when I take these other supplements, because some of them are oil-based and non-digestible normally for me, I take these to help digest those. twice a day I take Zantac. For some reason, because of the CF, I get too much acidity in my stomach, so this helps control that. Kind of common among CF is we get headaches a lot, also from poor oxygenation. The muscles in our body knot up a lot, low oxygenation, a lot of soreness and stiffness. So ibuprofen helps relieve that. Problem when I take ibuprofen at night is it tends to drain the body of electrolytes, causing cramping, severe cramping. So I take potassium and magnesium, and that helps with the cramping and the muscle during the night. In the morning, I take it's called an Aqueduct soft gel. This is specially formulated for cystic fibrosis. These are water-soluble vitamins, and the main vitamins here are A, B, D, E, K, and zinc. Really good stuff. I supplement that with a little bit more. I take a vitamin B to help with my immune system. I take vitamin C. My immune system, by the way, is much stronger since I've had the 2 adult stem cell treatments. Haven't caught a cold in more than 2 years. Before that was just unheard of. Vitamin E, this is the traditional vitamin E. It's oil-based, so I do have to take supplements or enzymes to help with digesting that, and likewise with flaxseed oil. So some of these are just normal stuff that many of you take, others not. So that's mainly my routine. And then there's one more thing. You may be wondering about this really sharp, high-fashion vest that I'm sporting. It's called a smart vest. You guys have a smartphone. Some of you have smart cars. See, really, I have a smart vest. So I'll close with this. This adds another 45 minutes to my routine. So all in all, you can see just on therapies to get me going and keep me functional, keep my lungs as clear as possible so I can breathe. And already just from talking, I'm short of breath because I haven't done my treatments yet. But I have to do this to be able to even get out of the house to do anything. It's a struggle enough as it is, but if I don't do all these inhalers, I won't be able to get out of the house to do anything. So I'm going to close with this. I'm going to fire up this puppy, and you'll see what this does. It fills up with air, and it pulsates, and it does this vibrating. So this replaces what years ago they used to do. Since I was a child, I remember they would do this percussion therapy on the chest to create a vibrating while we were laying down or inclined, if possible, to help move all that congestion, that crud, and cough it up out of our lungs. So in lieu of having a therapist come to the house and beating on me for 45 minutes, they've got these incredible vest things that help us with that, with the percussion therapy. So I'm going to turn this thing on, and you'll see how it inflates, and then I'll be signing off. Start. There we go. And you can hear it. Watch it puff up like a big balloon. And as long as I don't make this too tight, I can actually do this, save a little time, and do my inhalers at the same time. My fashionable smart vest. Okay, signing off. Have a great day, and I'll see you on the next video.